Bhagavatam, third Canto, chapter 29, explanation of devotional service, text 8. Abhisandhaya, yo, himsam, dambham, matsaryam, eva, samrambhi, bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi, kuryat, tamasah. Abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah. Abhisandhaya yo himsam, matsaryam dambham matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah. Abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Abhisandhaya yo himsam, matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah. Abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam eva, sarasambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Abhisandhaya yo himsam, matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Abhisandhaya yo himsam, matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Mataji,
Abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam eva, samrambhi bhinna-drg, bhavam, mayi kuryat tamasah.
Abhisandhaya, having in view, ya, he who, himsam, violent, dambham, pride, matsaryam, envy, eva, indeed, va, or, samrambhi, angry, bhinna, separate, drg, whose vision, bhavam, devotional service, mayi, to me, kuryat, may do, sa, he, tamasah, in the mode of ignorance. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Please repeat after me. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It has already been stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first Canto, second chapter, that the highest, most glorious religion is the attainment of causeless, unmotivated devotional service. Which verse is that? Very good. Savai muksham parvatamo jato bhakti adavishati avaidhi Yajatma suprashidati. By executing that kind of devotional service, the heart becomes completely peaceful and content. In pure devotional service, the only motive should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not actually a motive, that is a pure condition of the living entity. In the conditioned stage, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master in full surrender. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Supreme Lord because he receives and presents the instructions of the Lord as they are by disciplic succession. It is described in Bhagavad-gita that the teachings therein should be received by the disciplic succession. Otherwise, there is adulteration. To act under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure devotional service. But if one has a motive for personal sense gratification, his devotional service is manifested differently. Such a man may be violent, proud, envious, and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord's. That's an important point. And such a man may be violent, proud, envious, and angry, and his interest is separate from the Lord's. The trouble actually starts in devotional service. When you have any interest other than Krishna consciousness, other than promoting the Sankirtan, other than serving Krishna. One who approaches the Supreme Lord to render devotional service, but who is proud of his personality, envious of others, or vengeful, is in the mode of anger. He thinks that he is the best devotee. Devotional service executed in this way is not pure. It's mixed and is of the lowest grade, tamasah. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is saying even a Vaishnava should be avoided if his character is not good. A Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life But if one is not pure and still has motives, then he is not a Vaishnava of the first order of good character. One may offer his respects to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted the Supreme Lord as the ultimate goal of life, but one should not keep company with a Vaishnava who is in the mood of ignorance. So, abhisandhaya yo himsam, dambham matsaryam samrambhi bhinna-drg mayi kuryat tamasah. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is separatist, is considered to be a mode of ignorance. So, yesterday's verse, what did Srila Kapil Muni instruct in the verse that we discussed yesterday? What was yesterday's instruction? Who remembers it? Yes, Jamanati.
But there are different religious practices depending on the different natures of people.
Very good. Devotional service, according to the nature of different individuals, can be different. And in this respect, we discussed about how devotional service can be different according to one's nature or characteristic. Prabhupada in the Purport actually mentioned about 4 kinds of devotion. Artha, Arthati, eration, and Jnani. We also consider devotional service may be different due to karma mishra bhakti or jnana mishra. But here we are, Kapil Dev is giving another dimension. Devotional service differs according to the modes of material nature. If someone is in the mode of ignorance, what are the characteristics of his devotion? Although he is rendering, although he has become a Vaishnava, although he has become a devotee, but what is his nature? Here we are seeing Kapil Muni is actually speaking about those who have already become devotees. Even in them, in relation to yesterday's class, we actually discussed about a few other considerations, like different types of religions. They are also devotees. Muslims are devotees of a certain kind. Christians are devotees, Jews are devotees because they believe in one Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they believe in Supreme Personality of God. They are not demigod worshippers. Bhaktivedanta actually pointed out that their situation is better than the demigod worshippers. Whereas we find that if we go into the Western culture, then we see that the Romans and Greeks, the Christians and Jews were better than the Romans and the Greeks. Because the Romans and Greeks were demigod worshippers. Zeus, Athena, Apollo, Mars, and they are the ones they were worshipping. So that means they are demigods. Zeus is actually demigod. Apollo is Vivashwan. Mars is Mangal. So anyway, so in this way we see different phases of devotion. But Kapil Muni is actually making a very clear distinction among the devotees itself, among Vaishnavas. Like Vaishnavas in the mode of ignorance, Vaishnavas in the mode of passion, Vaishnavas in the mode of goodness, and Vaishnavas in the mode of pure goodness. Those who are in the mode of pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva, they are the pure devotees. Up to the mode of goodness, they are Mishra Brahma. But the pure material mode of pure goodness is not pure. Material mode of goodness is not pure. It's mixed with passion. But he is making a general classification general distinction of devotees in the mode of passion. Those devotees, what are the nature of those devotees? That has been pointing out that himsam, dambham, matsaryam, and bhinna-drg bhavam, bhinna-drg, separatist mentality. So these are all in the mode of ego. Among devotees you'll find individuals like that. They are very proud, they are very arrogant, they are very envious. Himsam, dambham, matsaryam. Himsam means violence, dambha is pride, matsaryam is envy. Especially we find the envy becomes very much manifest. Like why he has, why I don't have. So that is the meaning of envy. Becoming, why does one become envious? Isha. Envy is actually based on this. Why does he have, not me? And then he is bhinna-drg, and he has a separatist mentality. He divides, separates. This is my group. My group is better than your group. So that is separatist mentality. So what is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Prabhupada is quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What to do with this kind of devotee? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Purport is saying they should be avoided. One shouldn't associate with that. What to speak of lining up with them. If you line up with the devotees who are in the mode of ignorance, you'll also end up becoming in the mode of ignorance. Because that is what happens. The association is very, very complicated. So in this way, Prabhupada is actually warning. So then Prabhupada is actually pointing out that the goal should always be pure devotional service. Next two verses will describe the devotional service in the mode of passion, devotional service in the mode of goodness. But then it comes to devotional service in the mode of pure goodness or pure devotional service. And one thing is that the pure devotee is beyond the platform of liberation. These few verses are very important. Maybe I just would briefly discuss about, since Prabhupada discussed about pure devotional service in the Purport, skipping the other two considerations, the devotional service in the mode of passion and devotional service in the mode of ignorance. Like pure devotional service has been described here. One of the characteristics of pure devotional service is salokya, sasti, samitva, charupya, ekat charupa, ekatam, akyuta, diyamanam navrinhanti, vina matsaryam. So sarupya means having the same kind of form of the Lord. Samitya, to be close to the Lord. Salakya, to reside in the same planet with the Lord. What is that planet of the Lord? Vaikuntha Loka. And Shashti, having the same kind of opulence as the Lord. Diyamanam na grinnanti, even offered this liberation, bhina, na grinnanti, does not get. So that is the sign of the Guru. That even if these four kinds of liberations are offered to him, he doesn't want to accept it. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Salakya, Shashti, Samipya, Sarupya, or Ekatva. Ekatva, of course, that is, what kind of? That is Shajujya. Ekatva. Even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What to speak of material gain? Even spiritual gains become insignificant to a devotee. What is the reason? The reason is a devotee is perfectly satisfied in whatever situation. A pure devotee's symptom is that he is perfectly satisfied in whatever situation. Because he knows that ultimate consideration of devotion is the surrender to the Supreme Lord and accepting his authority and accepting the representation, accepting his representative as his guide. So that is the sign of pure devotee. In this respect, sometimes the question comes up, what is the difference between devotional service and karma yoga or karma mishra? What is the difference between karma mishra bhakti and Shuddha bhakti? The difference is, in karma mishra bhakti, one acts independently according to his own desire. But he offers the results of his actions. That is karma mishra bhakti or karma yoga. Whereas in pure devotion, one accepts the authority of the Supreme Personality. The authority of the representative of the Supreme Personality. So that is the difference between pure devotion and karma mishra bhakti or karma. So Mr. Bedi, everything is alright? Yes, yes. So that is the difference between karma mishra bhakti and karma. Pure devotional service is acceptance of bona fide representative of the and acting according to his instruction. No more independent ideas or independent desires. Whatever the representative of Krishna wants, we act accordingly. And who is the representative of Krishna? He is the spiritual one. So that is the difference between pure devotion and karma mishra. And who is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He is the Lord in the heart as the Super Soul. His representation. And in this way we can see that how it not only transcends different modes of material nature, it also transcends all different tendencies of an individual in his conditioned stage. In the conditioned stage, in the material nature, we have only two considerations. Either to enjoy the material nature or to get out of the material nature. Bhukti or bhukti, to enjoy this material nature. And mukti is to get out of this. Now, the symptom of pure devotion is that jnana karma anasmita. Pure devotion is bhukti and free from bhukti and mukti. What is the consideration of bhukti? What is the foundation or basis of bhukti? Enjoyment in the material nature? Karma. The tendency of shakam karma, fruitive activity. Act with a desire to enjoy yourself. That is the meaning of bhukti. Bhog, enjoy. As a result of that, one becomes active in the material. And what is the purpose of those actions? What is the purpose of that action? The purpose of that action is to enjoy the fruits of one's activity. I am doing whatever I am doing is for my enjoyment. Isn't that the driving factor, the motivating factor for everyone's action? I want to enjoy the results of my action. Like we see in day-to-day life, people are working from morning till night. Practically all the grown-up people are working from morning till night. Why they are working from morning till night? So that at the end of the day or at the end of the month, they'll get their salary. They're working with the motivation of getting the results of their action in the form of the salary, money. Or a businessman is running the business. Why? So that he can get some benefit out of it. He can make some profit. The profit motive. That's why they are working. And then there is another kind of people who do not really want to get involved in the material activities, mundane activities. They want to get out of the material activity. What is their motive? Their motive is liberation. So bhukti or bhog and mukti are liberation or tag, renunciation. Now, both of these are material. As the expression goes, the two sides of the same coin, head or tail. Same coin, two sides of the same coin. Head is bhukti, tail is mukti. But devotional service is beyond this desire for bhukti or mukti, which is a result of karma and jnana. Bhukti is the result of karma and mukti is the result of jnana. But pure devotional service is jnana karma anaprita, free from the influence of jnana, free from the motivation of enjoyment and liberation. Now what is that? Now why pure devotional service and karma mishra bhakti are apparently similar? It is apparently similar because both involve action. But it is the intention that makes the difference. The Shakam Karmis or Karma Mishra Bhaktas are active, pure devotees are also active. Now what's the difference between these two? Karma Mishra Bhaktas are doing it, they are worshipping the Lord, they are serving the Lord with a desire to enjoy the results of their action. Whereas a pure devotee is rendering service only for the pleasure of Krishna. Not for his enjoyment, but for Krishna's enjoyment. Again in Bhagavad-gita the same point has been explained as definition of devotional service as Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevana, Bhaktivedanta. When the Lord of the senses are served by the senses, when with our senses we serve the Rishikesha, the Lord of the senses, who is the Lord of the senses? Krishna. Then that is called pure devotion. So, in this way, Kapil Dev is explaining the characteristics of pure devotion. This chapter, in that respect, is quite similar to the 12th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Why? Because in the 12th chapter, also the pure devotional service has been described. Bhakti Charu. Now the question is, in what platform you are in? We have to consider what is my situation. And we have to consider, like from these symptoms, actually these verses or these instructions of Kapil Dev are very important because from this we get the guideline, the milestones. Well, what is my degree of progress? Am I proud? Am I violent? Am I envious? If I am, then I am in trouble. Am I listening to the instructions of my authority? Authority doesn't mean only the initiated spiritual master, but the authority is whoever is above me. That's spiritual. I must follow this instruction. And a pure devotee, how does he feel? Does the devotee judge all the time? Who is senior to me and who is junior to me? No, he simply considers that everybody is senior to me. A very simple consideration. The process is very simple. The consideration is how effectively we will to apply it in our life. And if we do properly apply it in our life, then our life becomes fruitful. Our life becomes successful. And we'll notice in the purport, these next few verses also, Srila Prabhupada is pointing out that it doesn't matter that if you're in the mode of ignorance, if you have these tendencies, himsam, dambham, matsaryam, violence, pride and envy, doesn't matter. Continue to serve Krishna in the association. Then you'll gradually be elevated and become free from this tendency. That's why in spiritual life no one is condemned. Everybody has a hope. Everybody is hopeful. Because everybody can be purified. Today somebody may be in a mode of ignorance. Tomorrow he'll be in a mode of passion. Day after tomorrow he'll be in the mode of goodness. And from then onwards he'll be in the mode of pure goodness. So that is the hope for, because the process is perfect. If we practice the process, then it will work. In this respect, Prabhupada gave a very wonderful. Once Prabhupada mentioned that in ISKCON, everyone is a pure devotee. And this statement of Prabhupada shocked quite a few devotees. Everyone is a pure devotee. Even a new bhakta who joined yesterday, he is also a pure devotee. And Prabhupada mentioned, yes, everyone in this country will be a devotee. Then only it's a matter of green mango and ripe mango. The mango may be green today, but if it stays in the tree, then it will become ripe. So if one may be a new bhakta today, but if he stays in ISKCON, then in course of time, he will become a devotee. And I noticed, like, I remember so many devotees, they were so difficult, they were so obnoxious. I'm talking about early days. We found them to be very, very difficult. But then over a period of time, we have seen that they've been so saintly. So this is the sign. Like everyone improves. When one is young, he has a tendency of being influenced by the mode of passion. And as a result of the mode of passion and ignorance, one may behave in a certain way. And Krishna has his way of purifying everybody. Once I remember one devotee, got very angry and he took his Brahmin thread, wrapped it around his thumb, said, I'm a Brahman. But then he changed, like, over a period of time. Now we see him such a humble devotee. And Krishna also purifies. That devotee cursed, and then he became sick. So that may probably that his curse had a counter attack on him. In this way, devotees make mistakes and learn. And Krishna in this way purifies everyone. And sometimes devotees used to fight those days also, early days. There used to be so many conflicts. Once there was such a conflict among some devotees, and they went and reported to Prabhupada. The Prabhupada, of course, corrected him, chastised him. But then Prabhupada told the devotee, it's like brothers and sisters. In a family, brothers fight, but after 5 minutes they become friendly. So as long as we remain within ISKCON with developing the right attitude, then everything will be alright in course of time. Because like brothers, they fight. But those fights are not serious. They fight, they quarrel, and after 5 minutes they forget. And become friends again. So, we must always remember that although we are not perfect, but we have a goal to achieve perfection. And we must keep moving forward towards that perfection. And in order to do that, we have to remain on this path and never deviate. That should be our prayer. That Krishna, please don't allow me to go away from this path. I may not reach the ultimate destination in this life, doesn't matter. But please allow me to continue to practice devotional service in the next life and life. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying in the Shikshashtaki. Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Bhavatam. Bhaktivedanta. And life after life, I can become a devotee and render service. Life after life. If I can't reach my destination in this life, doesn't matter. Let me carry on next life. In this way, let me go on life after life. I don't care how many lives it will take, but let me stay on this path. Because if I stay on this path, then someday I will reach the destination. Another wonderful thing is that when we remain in the path of Krishna consciousness, we see gradually things are always improving. It's constantly improving, getting better. Don't you all feel that way? Is it getting better or getting worse? Getting better. Do you ever get, how many of you think that it's getting better? So if it is getting better, then does it matter how long it takes? Because I know tomorrow is going to be better than today. I know next life is going to be better than this life. I know that life after that is going to be better than the next life. So what's the loss? So let me just remain on this path and never ever be foolish. Then we may be green mangoes today, someday will come, right? As long as we remain in the tree. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any questions?
Maharaj, we see that sometimes we are not in a direct contact with a spiritual master. Regarding Krishna consciousness, we receive so many instructions from him, but for day-to-day life, we cannot receive the message.
You mean in Ujjain? Do you have a temple? In the temple there are devotees. So if you have any question, why don't you go to them and get their direction? If you can't take the direction of every devotee or any devotee, then at least you can go to the temple. You see, Guru is not only the Diksha Guru. There are two types of Guru, Diksha Gurus and Shiksha Gurus. And ultimately, the Shiksha is more important than the Diksha. Instruction is more important than formality. And all the senior devotees are actually Shiksha Gurus because they can guide us. They are guiding us. So we must develop this attitude that we must take advantage of senior devotees. And in this way we will see that how you are benefiting. And this is how you actually associate. By association is not a matter of just being physically close. Real association is being spiritually close. And spiritually close means accepting instruction and helping. Like sometimes some individuals will come and ask you. And if you are in a senior position, then you guide him and then you are acting as a guru. Like say for example in your office, somebody knows that you are a devotee of Krishna. And I'm sure people are asking you questions and asking for guidance. And when you're giving them guidance, what are you doing? You're becoming a guru. So in this way, we should always associate by either following instructions or imparting instruction. Any other question? Yes.
My question is not very, I don't know how to explain, but like in this verse we see that the devotees who have different motives, it's a devotional service in mode of ignorance. And is the desires also, like sometimes I have some desires and I want to ask for those desires to Krishna, and when I ask, sometimes I don't ask because I feel Krishna knows everything, he will give me what he wants. And sometimes I do ask and I pray to him that please fulfill my desires, but after I feel very guilty and I feel bad that why I ask and now I have asked this desire, and if it's not good for me, means it's me who is inviting my troubles. And so I feel in both ways I feel confused because I do want to ask and I don't want to ask, and I don't understand what should I do in this case.
Tell me, out of these two situations, asking and not asking, which is the better, which is superior?
Not
Not. It's like a child asks the father, give me this, give me that. Right? But then when he grows up, he doesn't need, he sees that my father is giving me everything that I need, why should I need? So it's a matter of growing up. In spiritual life also there is a matter of growing up. When you're a little baby in your spiritual life, then you ask, give me this, give me that. But then when you grow up, then you don't want to ask anything. So there is no need to feel bad about it, because after all you asked from your Supreme Personality. Alright? Yes,
Guru Maharaj, you explained the characteristics of pure devotional service, that one doesn't, even if it's offered, one doesn't desire samipya, salokya, salukya, etc. So Maharaj, I was trying to understand samipya. If somebody is desiring to be with Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, to serve him, is that considered in the same category?
Yes. You see, these liberations, these four types of liberations, Sarupya, Samipya, Shalakya and Shashti, are in relation to Vaikuntha, not in relation to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there is no consideration of liberation. In Vrindavan, there is a consideration of love. So that's what motivates them. So, main point is, these liberations are Vaikuntha liberations, not Vrindavan. Yes.
Just another small question, Maharaj. Maharaj, when you explained that Srila Prabhupada said that in ISKCON everybody is a pure devotee. So I was trying to understand what did he mean by saying, and then he said it's just a question of whether we're green or a ripe mango. So Maharaj, I was wondering why Prabhupada said pure devotee instead of saying that everybody is a devotee. What did he really mean when he said pure devotee?
Because you are a part of a structure which is pure in itself. Right? Because you are functioning as a part of ISKCON. What is the goal of ISKCON? To spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Besides that, it doesn't have any other intention. Right? So ISKCON as a structure, as an institution, is practicing pure devotional service, establishing pure devotional service, motivating pure devotional service. So when you become part of it, then you are part of what?
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, any other question? There was one hand that went up there. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay.
So what is karma yoga?
I explained in the class.
You know,
I explained elaborately why you are asking the same question. Without Karma yoga means when you act with a desire to enjoy yourself. You are serving Krishna. It's yoga. It is devotion. But the intention is for your own pleasure. Now I'll ask you a question. What is pure devotion? What is Shuddha Bhakti?
without any desire
For?
or anything.
No. there cannot be anything without a desire. And since you have a mind, you always will have desire. When it is without desire, without any other desire for enjoyment and liberation, but service to Krishna. Right? So now you understand the difference between karma yoga and pure devotion? Tell me. Okay. Anyway, so you got the books? You're reading them?
Yeah.
Which one did you read?
Bhagavad-gita.
No, yesterday you told me that you got 2 books.
But yesterday I wrote Bhagavad-gita also.
Okay, what did you read in Bhagavad-gita?
No, I'm unable to read.
What's that?
Unable to read the Bhagavad-gita.
Then which one did you read? So
Somewhere.
read. And when you come to class, come in time.
Sorry.
Right? Because when you come late, you miss out on the main topic. Do you go to a movie when it's after half an hour? If you had the ticket to go to the World Cup final, would you go 3 hours late? You go in time. Right? So similar in spiritual life also. Come. Because you live here. You since are coming to the class. Okay, so again I will, since you are asking, again I will remind you, but this time you try to remember. Karma yoga means, karma means what? Karma means action. And yoga means connection. Right? When your karma connects you to Krishna, that is karma. Right? Like you are doing your karma, but this karma is sakal, with a desire to enjoy. But you are offering the result, doing the karma with the desire to enjoy, but you are offering the results of the karma to Krishna. Then it is karma. Alright? Right. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare. Yes?
Swami, there are 2 other words, similar words in Hindi.
Yeah.
Asakti and anasakti.
Yeah, right.
They are meaning.
No, Ashakti and actually
Anasakti.
the real word in Hindi is Ashakti and Virakti. Anashakti is also there.
Yeah.
Ashakti means attachment and Anashakti means not attachment. But Virakti means aversion.
So, in between the 2 is anasakti.
Right. Right.
So,
But a devotee.
avoiding both the virakti and asakti.
Exactly is.
If you are
true.
avoiding.
And Ashakti is attachment or karma, and Virakti is tyag or mukti. So pure devotion is free from both Ashakti and Virakti.
So that is anasakti.
Okay, you won. Thank you. Hare Krishna.